that's one of the most important things, as you're going through this cancer journey, you want to support your body. And a lot of times, and we've had this on on the previous episodes, foods will affect your outcome of your treatment. And so how do you get the right nutrition in order for you to have the best results? And so it's important, as you talked about, understanding what the reaction of foods will do to you. And I can speak here from a personal standpoint. I was also in the fitness industry, and understanding the power of food, eating specific types of diets can transform your body. And I've actually been the eyewitness of that, and to the point of being on stage at a point, right? But how did I get to that point? It was all about what I was putting into my body. So as we talk here at All Talk Oncology, how do you get the best outcome for your treatments, feeling good, your mental health? You definitely have to look into the foods. And I'm so glad that you have created something like this for the patient. It can be a bit overwhelming, like, oh, I don't know what to eat. I have cancer now. You know, Try not to get too ahead of herself. There's great publications out here. So to know that Eat Pretty exists and talks about it, and knowing that Ignite Your Light is out here that can help you through this journey, we're here to support. And so, Jolene, thank you so much for this. And I think that so many people are just going to be grateful that you have created something like this.
Thank you for sharing that. And if I may, there's two cookbooks that I love too. One is called The Cancer Fighting Kitchen, and the other one I believe is called The Living Kitchen. And they both have a nutrition for cancer focus. I keep them in my kitchen all the time, and I love to cook from them because, as you're mentioning, nutrition during cancer treatment can be complicated, but it can also just be nutritive and really fulfilling to the body, like to support your body through what it's going through. This extra stress means deep nourishment. It means foods that are going to be, think about what your grandmother made when you were sick, those chicken soups, the broth, foods that were going to be deeply nourishing. And the challenge is that not all the time those foods are going to be appealing to you, and that is, as your taste might be shifting during treatment, you might not want to be eating certain foods. So a lot of these books will talk about what could make a certain dish more palatable, or how to make something easier on your digestion, and to get through that period where you can still nourish yourself, but in something that might be lighter and easier on your body, that might be more appealing. Whatever makes you feel good and get through that day is, what is good for you.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. You talk about, we have the five senses that we utilize, right? That we all created with. And sometimes putting those to use when you're talking about introspective, what would you say to some of the cancer patients that are going through this journey, that are listening in, on how to just hone in on that?
It's a nice way to ground yourself in the moment, whether you're talking about maybe cooking or eating or tasting and using those senses, or maybe you're talking about, like we said earlier, some kind of self-care treatment, putting on a lotion and giving yourself a massage to loosen your muscles, even just a little aromatherapy, a roll-on essential oil that in the moment you can rub on your palms and smell, and just kind of activate your parasympathetic nervous system, so that relax, the rest and digest, the relaxation aspect of your nervous system. When your body is in that parasympathetic relaxed state, that is where healing takes place. Not when you are in fight or flight and you're jumping from one thing to another and you're stressed and your stress levels are climbing through the day. Giving yourself the excuse and the room, the reason to activate that parasympathetic nervous system is where healing happens. It's where you are, you're caring for yourself and your body. So yes, definitely activating and using those five senses, something that feels comforting to your touch, something that activates your sense of smell and makes you feel calm, a taste that you love, music that brings, you back to a joyful memory. Any of those things, it's almost like tricking your brain into, you might hear something in the past that tricking your brain into thinking it's happening now. Your brain doesn't know the difference between that happy memory and the happy day that's happening now. So it's something you can use as a tool to support that healing process in your body and kind of send your body the message that, yes, you can relax into this healing process.
So awesome. And great gems for all those that are listening in on this and what they can do to help them on their cancer journey. You know, one of the things you feel sometimes is you're alone on this journey. And how many times have I seen, and I'm sure as you being working with the United for Her, you know, I've seen so many people that keep their cancer to themselves, right? They don't speak to their family about it. They don't tell their employers. And it's like this big secret that they're holding on to. You know, what would you say to those that are going through that, that may be feel shielded without and not wanting to express or tell others about that? What would you say to them?
Sometimes being able to speak about it and share it with even just one other person can help you to kind of take a step back and process what's happening. I think that that can be really important. But also just to remember that you write your own story. You're the only one that writes your story, and in that sense, that you can control the narrative. You can choose who knows and what you tell, but it can be very freeing, and it can be a place of receiving support if you are able to share it and talk about it. For me, writing is incredibly cathartic. So maybe you don't speak it to another person. Maybe you write in a journal or you chronicle your experience, and in doing so, you're able to process it and sometimes just kind of let it go a little bit too.
Yeah, that's just great advice. You know, for me, one of the things that I did was become a cancer coach, and you know, I saw the need for that because a lot of people suffer internally, right, and don't want to express that. So being able to have someone that can help navigate them through the journey and is so important. And letting them know they're not alone, and some of the feelings that they're experiencing are not uncommon, and to get them through the journey, right? Because how you started is not how you end up. And to help them through that process is just a wonderful privilege. It's me transforming, you know, transitioning from a therapist now uh, to a coach has been phenomenal for me too. So to know that you're out here, there's so many people out here to help support everyone on their cancer journey is important. So I wanted to make sure and bring that out. And thank you so much for joining us. And let me ask you this: what nugget or what gem would you say that you can give to someone who's listening in who may be going through this journey now?
I think it really comes back to that energy is your superpower, and that you are writing your story one energetic choice at a time. And sometimes the biggest challenges, the darkest periods of your life can offer the greatest opportunity for transformation. So think of that moment as being a chrysalis maybe in your life, and this is a transformative time, and you have that energy and that power to direct where you go next and what you are next. So to keep that power with you and don't give it away at all.
Yeah. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us here at All Talk Oncology. And it's been a privilege to sit and be able to see some of the gifts that you're giving out to those who are in need.
Likewise, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for having this conversation and for sharing this with the world. It's such a gift that you're giving as well.
Oh, thank you. So again, I want to recap what we discussed in our episode today with Jolene Hart. Being able to reconnect with the beauty from within is so important, right? You talk about beauty and its power to transform your energy, right? They say you look good, then you feel good. How true is that, right? When you talk about resilience and its ability, how do you develop that? We said it was like a muscle, right? The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And then finding joy, right? In the here and the now. We don't look too far out in the future, and we don't look behind of the things that had happened in the past. You have to stay in the now, in the here, and in the present, right? There's no greater moment than right now. And then when you talk about the surroundings for your personal energy, the surroundings that you have, maybe it's the sunlight that gives you that energy. Maybe it's what we're thinking about that can affect our energy. We want to make sure that we're present and we're feeding ourselves the best possible way we can. And then you think about your God-given senses. There are five of them, right? Maybe it's something that we taste, right? It's just amazing. It's maybe one of our favorite foods. Maybe it's something that we see. Could it be the ocean? Could it be, the green trees that we see on a hike? Those things can affect our energy. You know, the things that we listen to. Maybe it's the sound of music that we enjoy that kind of calms our souls and affects our energy. Maybe it's a touch. Maybe someone just touching our hand, as we're going through that can affect our energy. You know, Aromatherapy, right? What we smell. Maybe it's a lotion or something that we utilize that can engage our senses. These are some of the things that were discussed, and I want to thank Jolene Hart for coming in our show again, and I want to thank you for tuning into our show. Here is where you will find up-to-date discussions with industry experts and leading professionals that can help you on your cancer fight. You're not alone in this. We're in this together. I'm your host, Kenny Perkins, aka the Cancer Guy, and until again, I'm out.